I used to hang out with this guy. I was doing Uber, and I pick up a passenger. He's in the back seat, and then I realized like, oh, this is my former coworker, and we chop it up, and then we exchange numbers, and we start hanging out, and we actually spend weekends, at least a Friday or Saturday, we'd hang out. Uh, we'd go out to eat, maybe grab a drink, things of that nature, right? Fast forward, we stopped being friends. I don't see him. I know where he lives. He obviously knows where I live. Um, we had sort of a falling out due to just some differences. Some differences that, looking back, I mean, they're not such a big deal, but apparently to him it was a big deal. Anyhow, so then I one day I'm cruising through this street, and then I see him walking his little Chihuahua on the road. And so I pull up to the side thinking like, oh, he's going to be as excited as I am to see me. And that was not the case at all. He did not reciprocate my energy. And I knew it, but I was like, whatever, I'm not going to pull away. It's a little too late. I already got out the car to like go over there and speak to him. But I could tell he did not want to talk. And what this tells me is like, man, this guy literally took that whole lone wolf thing so serious. Because this is what it is. Being a lone wolf is a trap. I don't know how anybody falls for this idea. I've done it before. I fell for it. I thought it was the thing to do. It was the most miserable I've ever been. And I'll tell you what, when I ran into this dude, the first thing you notice is like, buddy's walking a Chihuahua. He's wearing like business attire, business casual attire. He's got a little turkey neck. He looks pissed. He looks pissed. He looks unsettled. He looks uncomfortable to see me. It tells me a little bit about his like what he's been up to, and it's basically like working in an office job, dead end, right? Probably not very happy with his circumstances. Um, he has a Filipino fiance, right? Couldn't even bag a bitch in the city, right? If you can't get a woman in America and you have to go to another country to go get a woman, if you can't already prove that you've gotten women in the US, then running overseas to a third world country to get a girl that's hungry is to be a little reckless. And it shows that you can't pull, right? You can't pull. Say whatever you want, make as many excuses as you want about the quality of the women here in the West, but to have to go that low just goes to show you how bad things are for a guy like that. And anyhow, in any case, one thing I noticed though was just like overall just his bad vibe. Because the thing is, when you're a lone wolf, is you have no feedback loop. You have no one to bounce ideas off of, no one to shame you, no one to bully you, even to tell you, yo, like what you're doing is wrong, the way you're behaving is wrong, or make fun of you for that matter. So it's like you have nothing to respond to, right? So it's like everything is in your mind. So you think in your mind that you're some king, um, and you can go at it alone. And obviously, like I said, it shows, right? Buddy had no fitness, had no communication skills, real bad energy, real feminine energy, I would even say. Um, and like I said, like I afterwards, after the conversation ended, obviously it ended there. It was a little awkward for me, but I was like, man, I never like. I'm kind of glad that I'm not friends with someone like that because it's like, who wants to be around that kind of person, man? They drag you down. So it's like, looking back, I definitely don't regret having a falling out with this guy because it's like the sustainability and longevity of that friendship would not have been good for me in the long run. Um, and so, like I said, if you are thinking like, oh yeah, I need to be a lone wolf, this is the way I need to do it. I need to, buckle down and isolate myself from everyone. I would say, yeah, you want to have periods of intense, right, reflection, growth, and work. But if that becomes your identity, right, being a lone wolf becomes your identity, you're in for some trouble, buddy. I'll tell you that much right now, because like I said, I've been there, done that. It wasn't so sexy. The way it's kind of painted is like, man, it's like you're gonna grind it out, you're gonna struggle, and it's like you against the world. But then you realize, like, well, we are wired for groups, right? We're wired for having bonds with people, relationships, experiences with others. So to neglect that part and remove it from your life completely is a hard thing to do. And like I said, it really doesn't leave you. It doesn't yield the results that you think it's going to give you. Like I said, I did it, and it was miserable, and then seeing someone else do it and see them on that path of like the lone wolf, right? Save for his fiance, um, is not ideal, right? I saw the guy, and there was nothing about him that I wanted to be around any further. I mean, I'm glad I like touched bases and was like, "Hey, what's up, buddy?" Like, I'm thinking I'm gonna get a hug or something. Or like, I didn't even get a dab. I mean, the guy was like super uptight and really uncomfortable to see me. Perhaps, I mean, you got to keep in mind, right? A guy like that who's a lone wolf, right, who doesn't have any feedback loops, runs into someone from his past, someone that he was friends with, and it reminds him of his inadequacies, of the things that he hasn't been able to do. Nothing really good he can say to me other than the fact that he's still walking his damn chihuahua and that he's working a job that he doesn't want to do, right? And then he's in a city he doesn't want to be in. And so it's like nothing positive can come from a conversation like that. So it's like he wants to cut it short. And like I said, it's a lesson, right? That the lone wolf trap is not something that you want to fall into. I don't recommend it. I advise you to stay as far away from it as possible. All right. And I'll see you in the next one.